Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are building with one of the new kits. It's the basement treasure kits. I think that's what it's called, the basement treasure kit. As you can see here, I'm just doing like a quick video spin around the build because I did build the outside ahead of time because I just like getting that out of the way. And just jumping right into getting to building the inside because the outside, like I always say, takes me too long. But I like to give you guys a little view of what I did on the outside. As you can see, it's kind of like I don't know if it's like a trailer. I guess it's not or a caravan, maybe like a mix. I don't know. I'm probably messing that up, but I figured it like this sim. So my backstory was this was either like I said like a trailer or something that was all run down and like falling apart, and this sim moved into here. I actually built this in Strangerville, but I figured this sim moved in here and kind of put an extension on the top, like they added a second level because I felt like this build needed two levels. Especially with wanting to use all the items from the new kit. So I figured like that's the storyline. They added it, but it's still kind of run down, kind of dirty. Like this sim just doesn't take care of it that well. Like they added enough for them to be able to live and survive in here. Like they have all the amenities and everything, but they don't clean. They don't. They're still like very dirty and. I put a lot of the new stains that came with the kit on the floor and the walls, and a lot of that like mold splatter and stuff in the bathrooms. So I definitely wanted it to look old and unkept and just, run down. But I figured I wanted it to look like maybe the sim just kind of added an extension and what they needed to live. So they added their bedroom and another bathroom upstairs. So the bathroom upstairs is going to be a little bit nicer than the one downstairs because I figured like that's where their bedroom is. They kind of like went a little bit more like made it a little nicer upstairs than they did in the downstairs because their downstairs is more like for company or when they're just kind of like down there hanging out in the living room or whatnot. So they didn't really care to really go crazy because I figured like maybe the downstairs bathroom was already there. So they kind of just left it the way it was and just kind of upgraded a few things and that was that. But the upstairs bathroom they added. So, it's a little bit nicer, a little bit newer. I think I put a bathtub upstairs instead of like there's a shower downstairs and then a bathtub upstairs, so they added like a nicer bathtub, a nicer toilet, a little bit nicer sink, and I think I put a shower also upstairs. I think there's a bathtub and a shower upstairs. So, but I still left, as you could see, kind of those mold splatters and stuff on the wall, because I still wanted it to look a little dirty, a little dingy, like not fully put together. But yeah, here we're moving on to like the living room part of it. This is all as you can see, I kind of just laid out all the new items from the kit, so I used every single one, and then I just placed them where I wanted them to go. Some I placed upstairs for now because I didn't want them down there, but um, the couch, the chair, that little TV stand, all those knickknacks on it, they're all from the new kit. Um, I think that rug is actually from the werewolves pack, but I liked it because it had like rips in it and stuff, so it was like perfect. But I really do actually like the couch and the little chair. I know some of the swatches have like it looks like it was like used and like kind of ripped a little bit and stuff, but I like that. I don't know. I have another build coming up. That's a much nicer build. But I ended up using the same couch and the same chairs, but in a less dirty swatch, just because I think they look nice and like it's like for an older sim my next build, so I figured it was like something that she's had or they've had. I don't know. I built the sim already, so for me it's a female. That's why I said she. It's like an older lady, like an old woman. But um but yeah, I figured like it's a couch they've had for years and they've kept it and they just, it's just been in the family forever. So that's why it's kind of a little bit more run down. So I like that type of furniture for certain builds because I think it adds character and it adds the storyline. But yeah, now we're just moving on to the kitchen. And for the kitchen, I decided to do tile. So I made half the floor. I used the same tile in the kitchen and the bathrooms because I figured the sim wasn't going to splurge and they were going to use the same cheap tile throughout, you know. But, they didn't want this carpet. So I used carpet. I think it's just base game carpet. But I definitely wanted to use carpet in this build because I wanted it, because carpet kind of gets kind of nasty sometimes, and like if you don't keep it clean, it could like catch stains and all that. So I thought carpet was perfect for this type of build. And when I put the stains from the new kit on it, it just added to that, visual like like this sim just kind of like spilled stuff on the floor and was like, yeah, whatever, and just left it. So yeah, I definitely think carpet was perfect for this build. And here I just added a few like food stains on the floor and stuff. Those are from I want to say either Get Famous or Oh, I think it's Get Famous. I don't know where those food stains came from. But yeah, I just wanted to add those on the floor because I figured like sim probably like just threw, they spilt their food on the floor and just kind of left it. They didn't care. Um, so yeah, I was just making it a little bit dingy and dirty. And then here I found a lighter in Debug. And then I just took this little bowl. I can't remember what pack that's from, but I shrunk it down to the smallest it could go. And I thought that was kind of like a little ashtray. So I made it to be like a little lighter and ashtray on the table because I figured like maybe that's how this sim is. They kind of, they smoke and drink and stuff like that. Later on, you'll see outside on the top, I made like a little top porch too, just like the bottom one, and I put like a table with a bunch of like solo cups and stuff on it, and like a bunch of those like drink packs and like kombucha and stuff like from the eco lifestyle, I believe. I put a bunch of those outside, so I figured maybe this sim like that's what they do. Like here I put the table from Strangerville, like the one where they can listen in with bugs. So I figured like that's the sim story. Like they are very paranoid and, like they're living in Strangerville and they know something's going on. So I figured like you could play the Strangerville storyline with this sim because it kind of like fits like the theme and everything. But yeah, they're very paranoid. They plant bugs on their neighbors. They listen in. They're not very social. They don't like try to. They don't want the welcome wagon. They don't want any of that. But maybe that's this other sim secret is they're also kind of like a secret. Like I put all these boxes. Like maybe they sell like their drinks, like they make like beer. Well, I don't want to say beer because I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that, but they make adult beverages and they sell them, but it's illegal here and they can't be selling it and making it, so they make it in secret and then they give it out and whatnot. So I don't know, that's just kind of the storyline I was going with, is that like this sim has like a secret job that they're not supposed to be doing, that they're doing something un not allowed. So yeah, that's why there's all these boxes all over the place. Upstairs I kind of did, so they're a little bit of a hoarder because that's kind of where I went with this in the beginning with when I saw this new pack and I was like, oh, I could build a hoarder. So I kind of went with like, they're a little bit of a hoarder, but like also just like really dirty and they just don't clean up after themselves, and they have like this secret job, so they just collect all these boxes and they're selling stuff. So that's kind of why I did this kind of look for it and why I piled a bunch of boxes all over the floor and stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just kind of where I went with it in my head, and that's just kind of the theme I went for this build. But here, as you can see on this wall, right now there is a like not a staircase, I guess it's just a ladder. I end up swapping that out, so in the screenshot you'll see there actually is a staircase. I put a staircase there because it fit fine. Everything's functional. I play tested this with a sim. But I wanted the sim to have a dog and like a big dog. So I was like, and I put a bed upstairs in the bedroom, and then I went, oh well, dogs can't get up the staircase. So I need to put. I mean, they can't get up the ladder, so I need to put a staircase in there so the dog can go up there and sleep and stuff. So I was like, oh crap. So I ended up adding a staircase, and it just fit right where that space was. I had to move the posters and that dog food bowl a little bit, but everything worked out. But I did want the dog to be able to go upstairs. So yeah, I just had to swap that out. So you'll see that in the screenshots. But yeah, I imagine this dog, I gave them like a bloodhound type of dog because I figured like this sim's very private and they don't want to go out, but they kind of like send their dog out to like sniff around and like, I think you could send, like, I forget what the trait is for the dog, but I know you could send them out and like hunt or explore, I guess. So I figured that was like what I gave this dog's trait, is like an explorer. So they send their dog out to like, collect some evidence or, plant bugs in the neighbors' houses and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like another thing I went in my head. So I definitely wanted this sim to have a nice big dog. So yeah, I had to switch that out. But now we're working on the downstairs bathroom, and as you could see, like, I gave him, like, the very rundown, dirty shower and the, not so put together sink. Like, everything's just kind of, like, old and, like handmade. Like, they kind of just, like, built the shower themselves and stuff. But I didn't want to give them that like old nasty toilet, like that one that's kind of like a bucket that they just sit on, because I thought that was kind of gross. And I know like Sims can have a hard time using that one, and they kind of like have bad moodlets and stuff. So I was like, all right, well, maybe everything else in this bathroom was already here, like the sink, the shower, this broken mirror. But the Sim was like, all right, I just have to change out the toilet. Like, I need a better toilet. So I figured that's just kind of like the storyline. Like, they just swapped out the toilet in this bathroom, and that was it, because they wanted it to look newer. But yeah, and then I just kind of made it look run down with the rips on the walls and the stains, and I definitely wanted to use that broken mirror from the werewolves pack because I felt like it just fit really well, and that yellow color on the shower just matched like the living room, the yellows and the browns and everything. It kind of tied into the rest of the house, so I tried to make the colors a little cohesive and just kind of go together. Um, but yeah, now we're on to the upstairs. This is just going to be the Sims bedroom and bathroom. I do put another desk up here with an actual computer because I felt like maybe if your Sim does research or you want them to get a job or I don't know, I feel like they needed a computer, so I put that up here because I had plenty of space. But I gave them this like old bed that's just on um, like a pallet, like, you know, it's just like a mattress thrown on a pallet with some like ripped sheets. I thought that was perfect, and I really wanted to use the heart-shaped bed that we got with the new kit, with the basement kit. Um, and my line of thought was they kept it because this was the bed that was left like on this property from the original owners, but they were like, I'm not sleeping in that. Either it was like really gross because I gave it like the nice gross swatch, or like they were just like, I'm not sleeping on a gross vibrating bed that, you know, the previous owners might have used for who know what. So they kind of just like dismantled the bed and just like threw it up in the bedroom for now. Because they haven't gotten to throwing it out because the Sim doesn't really throw out anything. They just kind of hoard it. So they just dismantled the bed and threw it up in their bedroom, and it's just laying against the wall, and it's just gonna stay there probably forever because the Sim is never going to actually get rid of it. So that's kind of like why I put that in here, because like I said, I wanted to use every item from the new kit, and I just thought that was like a perfect little like storyline in my head that I used when I was building this bedroom. So yeah, that's the story behind the heart-shaped bed in this build. um but yeah, there was just like so much space up here, so I had plenty of space to put a bed. I didn't want them to have an actual dresser, so I thought this one from the high school pack, this little hanging thing, was just fine, because I figured the Sim doesn't really change their clothes that often. You know, they're a little dirty, so they just have a few pieces of clothing hanging that they could just swap in and out of. But the one from the high school pack, that swatch, that brown swatch, looks a little bit more like, I don't know, it didn't have scratches or not, but it just fit like it looked like it fit this build a little bit better. Because the other swatches were really light and they looked really clean, so I just thought that one looked the best. And then I put this like rack up here with all these storage items because I figured maybe this Sim is a little, like I said, they're very paranoid, so you know they have like some food supplies and like collectibles and stuff up here that they can, you know, hoard. So if something goes wrong in this world, like Strangerville, if you know those crazy people come here or whatnot, they can grab all their supplies, grab the dog, and then I put a ladder. I know dogs can't actually go down the ladder outside, but it's just like where I was going in my head. But I put this little ladder outside with one of those windows that you crawl through, like from the high school pack. So I figured that I could crawl through the window and like escape the upstairs. And now I'm noticing that I did not have a way to get outside to sit on the chair. I don't know. I'll have to play test that because that I didn't even realize. But I think you could go out the window from the high school pack on the ladder, and then instead of going down the ladder, maybe you could just hop onto the landing. But if not, I might just have to add a door there. It's not that big of a deal. I could just add a door. But now looking at the speed build, I just realized there's no way for you to get outside. But I will fix that before I load this to the gallery. But, you know, the things you noticed after you do a whole build and it's all finished and you're like, oh, this looks great. Yeah, well, how are they going to get outside? But yeah, I'll fix that before I load this to the gallery. Like I said, if you can't do the window, if it won't, the window you can climb out of, but if it won't, if you could just go down the stairs, I'll just add a door up there. It's not a big deal. Um, But yeah, and then upstairs here, I just added more of those boxes from the new kit, and I just stuck them in the corner because I figured, like I said, they have that secret business. Maybe that's why they have a computer up here, because they message their potential buyers, and they like send them like the order forms and stuff or whatnot. Although I guess if you're doing it in secret, you wouldn't do it on the computer. You wouldn't have a digital background. But whatever, maybe they research stuff for their for their items. I don't know. So I just gave them a computer and I just did the boxes upstairs because I figured that's like more of the stuff that they're hoarding up there. And then against this wall, I just did a bunch of like containers and boxes of files and just clutter and stuff because I figured since this sim is paranoid and maybe they're researching what's going on in Strangerville, they have all these files and boxes of like videotapes and that they've recorded from like their listening devices, and you know what I mean, they're just like hoarding all this stuff that they're all this research that they're doing to find out what's going on in Strangerville and why the people are acting the way they are. So yeah, so that's kind of why I did all those boxes on the wall. And then here on the desk, I just did more of that clutter. Like I said, the files and these CDs I think are from the high school pack, but I thought they were really cool because they could be like CDs that were recorded on. And then that one on the front kind of looks like an alien. So I did that because I figured it like kind of went with the theme. But I definitely wanted this sim to look like, they just don't really take care of the place that well. It's dirty. They don't really clean it. They kind of just collect a bunch of crap and they just hoard it and they just, they don't want to get rid of it because they're too lazy. But, it's not too run down where they can't use it, but it's run down enough where like it's just unkept. But yeah, here I'm moving on to the bathroom. Originally, I had the shower against the other wall, but then I realized with the door, it was just too cramped because I wanted the toilet and the sink to go on each side of the shower because I did this little built out for the shower. So I just moved it to the other side of the wall. I just put the shower a little built out on the other side, and then I had enough room on that side now, so I ended up adding a tub because sometimes your sim likes to take a bath, sometimes they like to take a shower, but I know baths could take like forever. Like when my sims take a bath, it just takes so long, and I'm like, why are you in there for so long? So I added a shower because maybe you just want your sim to be quick with it. But yeah, I made it a little nicer. I gave them like the very minimum toilet and sink. Like I didn't give them the nicest ones, but I did use this pedestal sink instead because I wanted to put like the little toothbrush and the little razor on there. And I know with the new update they gave us, you can clip items to the sinks now and the toilets and stuff. And I wanted to be able to do that, so I ended up changing it to that pedestal sink. But it's like the very, very basic, cheapest one, I think. So I wanted it to look like that. Like they didn't spend a lot of money, but they went a little bit above with their upstairs bathroom because that's the one they're using the most, so they wanted it a little nicer. And then I just added these cute little shelves here and put a couple more clutter items on it. Nothing crazy, just a few things that maybe the sim would use. And yeah, I added the little rubber ducky because I don't know, I just thought that was cute. And the sim is a little childish maybe, so they take a bath with their rubber ducky. And then I just I had a picture leaning on there just to look like they just had it leaning on the shelves. But yeah, I think that's really it for this build. So if you guys like it, please like and subscribe and leave any comments you have for me below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.
It's true.